Good day, dear listeners, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Entrepreneurship and the African Youth, brought to you by Among Gate Radio Communications. I'm your host and anchor, Adeola Gbadebo, and I'm thrilled to have you with us today as we continue this engaging and insightful series. So in our last episode, we kicked off the series by exploring the e-commerce revolution sweeping across Africa. We discussed how young entrepreneurs capitalizing on the growth of digital platforms to create innovative e-commerce businesses. So we touched on some inspiring examples like Jumia. So today we're diving deeper into that conversation as we explore more opportunities within the e-commerce landscape and also shift our focus on a crucial topic, which is about women in entrepreneurship. We'll highlight the rise of women-led ventures across Africa and how young female entrepreneurs are breaking barriers, reshaping industries, and driving economic growth in a new and exciting way. So if you're passionate about e-commerce or inspired by the bold strides women are making in the entrepreneurial space, you are in for a treat today. Stay with us as we unpack these stories and share insights that will empower you to take action in your own entrepreneurial journey. Let's get started. So we spoke about the e-commerce revolution and how e-commerce is transforming the retail landscape in Africa with the rapid growth and internet penetration and the mobile connectivity. So we have more people who are now opting for online shopping. So many entrepreneurs are seizing the opportunity to create innovative online marketplace that cater for unique needs of their communities. So I want to talk about the key trends that drive e-commerce growth in Africa. One is the rising internet access. Now we have more than 525 million people using the internet in Africa. So online shopping has now become more accessible to a broader audience. As more people gain access to the internet and are able to use the internet as a means of communication, people are also being open to this accessibility of online shopping. Another thing is convenience. So e-commerce provides consumers with access to goods and services from the comfort of their homes. You do not need to go into the market. You do not need to stress yourself walking around in the sun and looking for what and where to buy. And so that reduces the need for physical stores. There's also payment innovation. So fintech solutions such as mobile money and digital wallets have made online transactions more secure and accessible, even to people who were unable to make payments for some certain kinds of transactions. But because of that internet penetration, they now have access to that, and they can now make those payments, and from the comfort of wherever they are, and everyone can now put up their goods online for sale. So the other aspect is about logistics and delivery improvements. New solutions to logistics challenges are emerging. So including partnerships with local courier services to ensure goods reach even the most remote areas. You have, I'm sure we all see bikemen with boxes on their bikes, moving through traffic and all that, trying to deliver different goods and also trying to deliver parcel and the likes. So that has also given rise to that. These logistics and delivery improvements have also helped in the rise of the e-commerce. So e-commerce has proven to be a viable option for entrepreneurs seeking to tap into Africa's growing customer base. So there are the products offering range from fashion, electronics to groceries, and and the likes. Most of us actually picked our phones that we use either delivered by one online, by one e-commerce provider or the other, and a lot of them are scattered around the internet. So African e-commerce businesses are catering to the continent's growing middle class and its increasing demand for convenience and variety. We when we're talking about the entrepreneurship and the Nigerian youth, Flutterwave was one of our case studies, and then where we spoke about the impact of Flutterwave and how it was able to raise money, and is processing over 200 million transactions worth over $16 billion, and how Flutterwave highlights the importance of identifying key pain points, and using technology to provide scalable solutions. Today we will be talking about, want to focus our story around Jumia. Jumia, often referred to as Africa's Amazon. We have the Amazon stores, the Amazon online, which owned by Jeff Bezos in the US, one of the richest, I think second richest man in the world, and Jumia represents that for Africa. It was co-founded in 2012 by French entrepreneurs called Sacha Puignonek and Jeremy Hodora. But they also have some African partners, Tunde Kehinde and Raphael Afedo. And so he was in Lagos, Nigeria. So Puignonek and Hodora were both former consultants to McKinsey and Company, where they worked on various projects in the tech and retail sectors across Africa. That experience in consulting, especially in emerging markets, exposed them to the vast potential for e-commerce on the African continent. They've researched, they are part of their job at McKinsey and Company, they researched on internet penetration within the African network. They researched on also e-payments across Africa and financial inclusion. Now, these areas help them to be able to see that potential for e-commerce on the African continent. So that gave birth to Jumia. So the idea of Jumia emerged from a recognition of the untapped opportunity in Africa's growing middle class and increasing internet penetration. So despite the rapid growth of internet usage, African consumers faced significant challenges when it came to accessing goods and services. And some of the reasons are because the road interconnectivity and access to some of those areas became really difficult, and most people find it very difficult in moving around to access the goods and services. So the traditional retail infrastructure was underdeveloped, and so the supply chains were insufficient, making it very difficult for consumers to find and purchase products, particularly those from international brands. Now, everyone wanted something that was unique, beautiful, and in being able to, it became very expensive accessing those international brands because of the infrastructure, which is underdeveloped, and that's created a challenge. Now, so these young entrepreneurs, in trying to mitigate that unique challenge and trying to close that gap, was what inspired them to create Jumia. So they were inspired by the success of global e-commerce giants like the Amazon and Alibaba. So their vision, creating an online marketplace that will serve Africa's consumer base. That's a vast, growing African consumer base. They looked at that. They looked at it and looked at how, so they benchmarked international successful organizations like the Amazon and Alibaba, and how, look at Alibaba has been, from China, with China's vast population, with the American vast population, Amazon not only in America but in Europe and other places, and how they are able to do that. So that e-commerce was what they studied, that platform, they studied that model, and thought they should replicate such model in Africa. So they aimed to overcome the continent's unique logistical and infrastructural challenge. So they built a platform that is tailored to the local market's needs. So they started at the local market's needs. So together with the Nigerian co-founders, that is Tuneka Inde and Raphael Afedo, Pagnonek and Hodora looked at those Nigerian entrepreneurs because these Nigerian entrepreneurs have a deep knowledge of the Nigerian market. So they set up Jumia in Lagos. The platform began as an online retail store offering a wide range of products, from electronics to fashion to groceries. Jumia's goal was to provide African consumers with a convenient way to shop online while giving local businesses a new avenue to reach customers. So what did Jumia do? So Jumia was able to they provided a platform where even local traders could. It is a platform where they could also exhibit their goods for prices and for the cost. Where people would buy. Oftentimes, when we go to Jumia, you would see that there are different service providers there. So Jumia became that platform where everyone was free to now sign in and showcase your products and services. Of course, they were able to brand it in a way and give different codes to it so that each exact product can be identified. And as you picked, depending on the distance of the store where it will be picked up to where you stay, you pay a delivery fee and you do everything online. And they have an online payment platform that helps them. Eventually, Jumia itself started their own payment gateway they called Jumia Pay. So what are the challenges that Jumia faced in the beginning? So in the early days, there were several challenges, particularly around logistics and payment systems. So at that time, there weren't too much effective delivery infrastructure in many African cities, and that made it difficult to get products to customers. So to overcome this, Jumia invested heavily in building its logistics network, and then they also worked with local couriers and in developing in-house delivery systems to ensure that products could reach consumers across different regions. That's quite an innovation. Another major challenge that was trust. So many African consumers were unfamiliar with e-commerce and skeptical about buying products online. How do I buy online? There's this phrase we all know: what I ordered versus what I got. So in order to build trust, Jumia offered payment on delivery options. So they decided that you do not need to pay. You can make the order online. The delivery fee is there. You know how much you are going to pay, but you can check the product after you are sure that you like it is exactly what you ordered for. Then you could make your payment. So that's a payment on delivery. When the good is being delivered, you do it. So so the payment delivery option allow customers to inspect products before making payments. So this helps to alleviate concerns about the trust and the quality. So you've seen what you wanted to buy, you can see it, you can attest to the quality. This is exactly what I wanted, and then now, of course, that gives you the trust, and you now be able to make payments knowing that you bought what is delivered to you is exactly what you saw, and that played a crucial role in gaining the trust of customers, of course. So how did Jumia grow, and how did the growth and the expansion? So Jumia's initial success in Nigeria set the stage for expansion across Africa. So Jumia started in 2012. Now they used the Nigerian market to test the waters as their pilot phase, and then by 2013 the company had expanded to several African countries, including Egypt, Kenya, Morocco, and Cote d'Ivoire. It became the leading e-commerce platform in Africa. And as we speak, it was operating in about 11 countries. So as the company grew, Jumia diversified its offerings beyond retail. It introduced Jumia Pay, like I said earlier, which is a fintech service payment gateway, which allowed users to make their online payments. Then went to Jumia Food, a food delivery service. It also expanded into travel bookings and classified ads, creating a broader ecosystem of online services. So you could see how it started in one small area, and the growth, and with innovation, they began to see other things that they could add onto the business. So it was not only the Jumia retail store, it became a Jumia conglomerate that was offering different services. There was their payments gateway, there was their delivery services, they had the Jumia food delivery service. We went into bookings. There's a name they give to that booking, that they are travel booking bookings and classified ads, and of course they expanded the ecosystem of their online services. So what was the role of the internet in Jumia's growth? So Jumia's growth was significantly supported by Rocket Internet. Rocket Internet is a German startup incubator known for helping companies scale rapidly. Rocket Internet had a track record of replicating successful business models from Europe to the US in emerging markets. With backing from Rocket Internet and other investors, Jumia raised substantial funding, allowing it to invest in logistics, in technology, and in marketing to grow its presence in Africa. You would imagine that you're online, you are trying to, maybe you are playing a game on your phone, and or you are reading an article or watching a video on YouTube, and you would see Jumia adverts jump at you at all times. So they invest heavily in marketing, and then to ensure their growth and their presence in Africa. So Jumia took another step, which was their IPO and global attention. So don't forget, they started in 2012, but now by 2019, that's about 7 years after, Jumia made history by becoming the first African tech startup to be listed on the New York Stock Exchange. IPO attracted global attention and was hailed by a major milestone. It was hailed as a major milestone for Africa's tech ecosystem. So I've been mentioning the word IPO. So IPO simply means an initial public offer, or a stock launch. And it's a public offering in which shares of a company are sold to people we call institutional investors, and usually also to retail investors, individuals who are. So an IPO is typically, underwritten by one or more investment banks who also arrange. So you have banks saying that what an IPO usually is organizations use it to raise funds by selling some of their shares. So in 2019, April, Jumia became the first company to be listed on the New York Stock Exchange during their initial public offering. But you see, despite all its initial success, Jumia still faced some significant challenges, including high operating costs, and then competition. Incidentally, Jumia and Konga started almost around the same time. I think Jumia started maybe a month before Konga, and that was a major competitor. And then so they had major competitions and questions about profitability. So these challenges have led to the company to scale back its operations in some countries and focus on its core markets. This is where, when you expand into an area and you look at your what we call the baseline, and you can see that some of those expansions have become a cost center rather than a revenue center to you, where you'll be spending a lot of money, but you're hardly making revenue, you're hardly generating revenue there. So you would look at it and say, okay, can we scale down so we can focus more on our area and our core area of strength? So which is what Jumia eventually did. Let's talk about the legacy and impact. So despite its ups and downs, Jumia's legacy in Africa is profound. It's been a pioneer in bringing e-commerce to the continent, paving the way for other startups and entrepreneurs. The company has helped foster a digital economy in Africa. It has created thousands of jobs, giving local businesses access to new markets. Just by advertising on the Jumia platform, you are able to reach millions of customers who may be willing to pay for your goods. So Jumia's story is one of innovation, resilience, and the ambition to transform how Africans shop and do businesses online. So yes, the company continues to evolve. Its journey has inspired a generation of young African entrepreneurs to believe in the power of technology to solve the continent's challenges and unlock its potentials. So Jumia operates in 11 countries, including Nigeria, Kenya, and Egypt, and has become a key player in the African e-commerce market. It has helped small businesses reach a larger market and provided employment for thousands of Africans, from logistics to customer service. So Jumia's success lies in understanding the African market's unique needs, such as building local logistics network to overcome delivery challenges. So youth entrepreneurs can learn the importance of adapting business models to local conditions and scaling up to meet demand. So some key takeaways. We can see that fintech and e-commerce are two of the most promising sectors for African youth entrepreneurs, driven by mobile technology, financial inclusion, and digital transformation. So companies like Flutterwave and Jumia have demonstrated that there is enormous potential in solving specific challenges in Africa, in Africa's financial and retail ecosystems. Through technology, you can use technology to solve. They've been able to use technology to break, the stronghold in that area. So the African youth should focus on developing innovative solutions that leverage the continent's high mobile penetration, emerging digital infrastructures, and grow demand for online services. If you're still with us, we're still on Amalgate Radio Communications, and we're still talking about, entrepreneurship and the African youth. We just spoke about the e-commerce revolution in Africa. Quickly, I want to introduce women entrepreneurs in Africa, and start with the building and scaling women-led ventures, and we will start with that today and continue next week also. So I'm saying that across Africa, women are making significant strides in the entrepreneurial landscape. They are building and scaling successful ventures in industries once dominated by men. So despite facing unique challenges such as limited access to finance, societal expectations, limited access to education, gender-based barriers, these trailblazing women are proving that resilience, vision, and innovation can break boundaries. We will be talking about we have some case studies that we'll be talking about from next week. Some of those women are Funke Okweke of Mewan. Mewan is telecommunications industry. I will also be talking about Tabitha Karanja of Kerochi Breweries in Kenya. So we will We will be talking about those ones next week, but for now we will stop here for today. Thank you for joining us today. This is another insightful episode of entrepreneurship and the African youth. As you can see, it's been a pleasure exploring these incredible stories of women entrepreneurs like Funke Opeke and Tabitha Karanja. We will be talking about them next week. I'm so excited that we will be exploring those things, and I know that a lot of people can draw inspiration from them, and can see we'll be learning on how they are leading the way in transforming industries across the African continent. Their journey reminds us of the importance of resilience, innovation, and leadership in building sustainable ventures. So as we wrap up on this episode, we'd love to hear from you. If you have questions, feedback, or would like to share your thoughts on a program, feel free to send us an email at contact@theamogate.org, or you can reach us on our WhatsApp number, that is +234 810 999 6666. Your contributions are always welcome and help us make each episode better. For us to catch up on previous episodes, you can check out our show reel on MixLR-Amogate. You will find a wealth of knowledge and inspiration waiting for you there. We also invite you to stay connected with us on our social media handles, to follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook, all at Amogate. So stay tuned on upcoming episodes and events and more content around entrepreneurship and youth empowerment. Remember, this program airs every Thursday, 5 p.m. West African time and 11 a.m. Eastern time. So be sure to tune in next week as we continue our series. I'll leave you with these thoughts. Entrepreneurship is not about ideas. It's about making ideas happen. So that idea which you've been, turning around in your mind, it's time to make it happen. This rings especially true for women entrepreneurs across Africa who are making remarkable strides every day. The future is bright and the opportunities are endless. Thank you once again for tuning in. We look forward to having you with us next week. Stay inspired and keep pushing forward on your entrepreneurial journey. It's bye from me. Enjoy the rest of your day.